Good afternoon, all, to the heads of the Pacific Island regional organizations, members of the Diplomatic Corps, trustees, board and committee of the Pacific Geographic Information Systems and Remote Sensing Council, Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Lands and Mineral Resources, inviting guests, ladies and gentlemen, Burbanaka. Very good afternoon to all of you. I'm indeed delighted and honored to be here this afternoon to launch the Pacific Geographic Information Systems and Remote Sensing Council. And it is my distinct pleasure to welcome you all. Ladies and gentlemen, I was actually very privileged to open the 2017 GIS and Remote Sensing Conference, which was held at the Japan ICT Center at the University of South Pacific in November last year. I followed that conference very closely and was in complete admiration and respect of the leaps and bounds that GIS and remote sensing technological applications have to offer, especially the breakthrough in the adaptation of technology from our specialists, including many of our very own Pacific people. I'm proudly comforted by the fact that we and our neighbors from around the Pacific are in good hands with this specialist knowledge and application in GIS and remote sensing technology, particularly when it is critical to the development, the growth, and the prosperity of our people. At the conference in USP, ladies and gentlemen, I had shared then that this council had its humble beginnings in the National Conference of GIS Experts in 1999 and quickly evolved into an international gathering of geographic information systems and remote sensing experts 3 years later. And from that conference, I'm proud to stand with the Pacific GIS and Remote Sensing Council and to officially launch it today. Furthermore, I also commend the staff at the Ministry of Lands and their partners at the Pacific Community, SPC and USP, in their agility and foresight in the creation of the Council, the genesis of which I had also briefly highlighted at the 2017 conference. Ladies and gentlemen, technology is but a tool, but it is how the technology is applied to meet the needs of the people. And this important process is very dependent on the experts who are able to adapt the technology to the front-end needs of its clients, be they villages, be they settlements, infrastructure officials, disaster recovery specialists, NGOs, religious organizations, and the list goes on and on. And no matter how advanced and innovative technology may be, if it is not applied accordingly, its purpose and its importance is actually lost. And therefore, our Pacific GIS and remote sensing specialists can hold their heads up high in the work that they do, but at the same time need government support in pushing the boundaries even further. Having said that, the appointment of my Permanent Secretary of Lands and Mineral Resources as one of the 3 trustees on this council is an indication of the Fijian government's commitment to this great initiative. And the other 2 trustees, Dr. Russell Howard, and who is a former director of SOPAC, and Mr. Rajendra Singh, a Commissioner of Awards and a recent member of the Order of Fiji Award. All 3 trustees are prominent individuals in their respective fields. And with this, I can confidently say that the council is in very, very good hands. And of course, the chairman of the council's board is Dr. Wolf Borstretter, and the board members consist of GIS and remote sensing specialists from the Ministry of Lands, Ministry of Forestry, USP, and SPC. Ladies and gentlemen, it's also my hope that the other regional counterparts willingly and happily offer their expertise to serve on this council, and whilst I continue to extend an invitation to them, I strongly believe that together we can take our Pacific grown knowledge to greater heights and bring innovation to this critical area. Hence, we can anticipate more positive outcomes with the new council continues to convene the conference for an annual Pacific gathering. I'm happy to mention that the council recently established focal points on all Pacific islands, and this is to enable the sharing of information about the conference and also organize presentations and ideas, and in preparation for the next conference, which I understand is to be hosted in Vanuatu. In the margins of the 2017 conference, ladies and gentlemen, I also was able to discuss with Digital Globe representative And I look forward to a partnership with the Ministry, between the Ministry and Digital Globe in the not too distant future, and also commend Digital Globe for a job well done, most particularly during the early days post-PC Winston. With the provision of satellite imagery, we were able to prioritize and move swiftly to respond and rapidly rehabilitate and also engage in recovery assistance to our people. In launching the Pacific GIS Systems and Remote Sensing Council today, I must highlight to you the 5 objectives of the Council, which are clearly laid out in the Council Constitution. And they are: 1 is to promote the development of GIS systems and remote sensing data and technologies and methods and services for the entire Pacific region. And 2 is to enable collaboration and share lessons learned across regional agencies and commercial parties. And 3 is to discuss and establish methods in building adaptation for the Pacific environment for solutions working already well outside the region. 4, obviously, to manage the distribution, publication and awareness of conference outcomes. And 5th, to establish robust links with the GIS and remote sensing scientific bodies regionally and globally. Ladies and gentlemen, the highest standards have been set, and all that is needed now is to follow through and to ensure that these objectives for everyone, for them to benefit from. These objectives obviously cannot be met if our specialists are operating in a bubble far removed from the needs of our people. Thus I commend the Council's wisdom and its intention to harness 3 vehicles for information dissemination, and these vehicles are the Pacific Islands Geographic Information System Remote Sensing Newsletter, information on the widely circulated email distribution list GIS PACnet, and obviously the Pacific Islands GIS Remote Sensing User Conference, including a website and social media platforms. Another key objective of the Council is to ensure connectivity and robust linkages with other GIS and remote sensing scientific bodies, both regionally and globally. And already the Council is achieving its goals on that front, as it's presently linked to the Pacific Science, Technology and Resource Network, also known as STAR, originally an advisory group for SOPAC annual sessions, and the Fiji Geospatial Information Management Council, the International Society for Photogrammetry and Remote Sensing, and the Circum-Pacific Council, the SPC, or Pacific Community, known as the SPC, the Pacific Islands chapter of the Internet Society, the Spatial Industry Business Association, and the Pacific Geospatial and Surveyors Council. Before I conclude, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to remind the Council on how critical it is to place importance on something that's at the forefront and should be always at the forefront of our mind, and that's climate change. Climate change is at the forefront of Fiji's mind and all our Pacific Island countries. And as such, it is something that is directly related to our development, aspirations, our readiness, our awareness, and also the protection for our younger generations and the generations to come. So, coming back to today's event, ladies and gentlemen, I have full confidence in our Council and will eagerly await and watch it grow from strength to strength, as I know it will. And with those few words, it gives me great pleasure to now officially launch the Pacific Geographical Information Systems and Remote Sensing Council. Thank you very much.